Hey, happy Friday. How are you guys doing? It's Friday. I'm excited about this show. I'm going to get started right into the show because this is going to be a very unique show because I don't know how it's going to work out. I want to show you all these different lenses, and I guess we'll just work it out as we go along, okay? So for those of you that are traveling and everything, I hope everybody's safe. All right, guys, this is going to be interesting. All right, number one, unless there's something terribly wrong, don't call me. I have the phone in my pocket. I will be walking around 1, 2, 3, 4 times. Okay, so I did wear the same shirt as the last show because I want to see how the LUT. I created a LUT with Lumi LUT, a correction LUT for the Olympus. The other 3 cameras don't need a LUT. It's straight out of the camera. The Olympus, I just cannot get it tuned in the way I want it to get tuned in. All right, so the topic on this show, usually I take the beginning of the show and we go by what the topic is doing, okay? Tonight, I'm going to do it a little bit different, all right? Because I really don't know how long this is going to go. So, this is the A7CR camera, and this is here courtesy of Randy, who lets me borrow, use, or he actually gives me sometimes cameras or lenses. So I did get to play with his Leica Q3, and that one went back, and I liked it so much. He said, okay, Peter, try the A7CR. So the A7CR and the Leica Q3 both have 60 megapixel sensors. They claim this is a 61, but it comes in at the same size when I bring a picture in to Photometer or photos. So I'm not quite sure why one is 60 and one is 61. But when you bring in a picture before you crop, you get to see what size it is. They're the same size, okay? So that's unique. All right, so when you take pictures, that is a style and a thing that most of you know exactly how to do. So before I get rolling, let me make sure that I have everything running properly, because if it's not, then it'll get screwed up. All right, I do see my meters. The audio is fine. I have a lav mic. Now, the receiver, this is a wireless lav that I'm using, and I have moved the receiver one room over. It's not in here. So the lav mic is here on my body. The receiver is in the next room, which is called the family room. So to tell you a little bit about the layout of the house, we have, think of it as this section or this wing of the house is one room after the other. The Christmas room is also my office. This room is on one end of the house. You go over one room, you have the family room. That's where the original Christmas room was. You go over one more room, you have the kitchen. And that's where the kitchen is, okay? And then the next room over is the TV room, all right? Now, in the kitchen, we have sliding glass doors that goes outside to the patio. Now, in case you didn't know it, it's nighttime around here. It is now 10:04, okay? There is a 40-second delay, just part of YouTube, okay? So now, when I vlog, there's some things that I look for, all right? And other people look for other things. So what I look for is a nice, like what I have here, maybe a little bit tighter, okay? But the in your face, up your nose with the rubber hose is not my style, okay? So it's hard to actually vlog and find a lens that you actually want to vlog with. All right, so this is the A7CR. And the A7CR works a little bit different on the photography side than on the video side. On the A7CR, you can, if you choose, you can work it like the Leica Q3. So what the Leica Q3 did was very different in the way most of us do photography. We changed lenses. You need to bring something in from far away, you put a 90 millimeter or an 85 millimeter is more like it, lens on there. You want wide, you go down to a 35 or a 24, okay? So on the Leica, they put a 28 millimeter 1.7 lens in it. It's built in. You cannot change it, okay? So you take it or you leave it. Now, we're doing the same thing with this camera. When I say we, I mean me, okay? And because this is also 61 megapixels, I just keep cropping, all right? Now, that's the aspect of photography. And the two lenses, or the three lenses that I happen to like, is the 24 millimeter 2.8 from Sony, all right? The 40 millimeter 2.5 from Sony, and the 90 millimeter, I think it's a 1.8, and it's not 90, it's 85. Batis, a Batis, Zeiss Batis lens. With those three lenses and the 60 megapixel camera, I do all my photography, okay, and just crop to where I need it to be cropped. I know how small I can crop and still print out a beautiful 8x10, which doesn't even happen today. The last 8x10 I printed out was a while ago, all right? But what about the video side? On the video side, things are a little bit different. The way that I work, like the 24 millimeter Sony that I have on here now, let's see if I remember to turn on the overhead camera, okay? So if I did, you'll see it. Okay, so the 24 millimeter that I have on there now, all right, is too close. It's too in your face for me to do vlogging. So what's a fella to do? What do we do? Okay, well, we go wider. What are you going to do? Now, the problem is, how do you choose which lens you want to choose? All right, so up until now, my very favorite lens for vlogging purposes, not picture taking purposes, unless I had some unique situation. But for vlogging purposes, I like this lens, okay? And this lens is what I usually put on the camera to vlog, and my face looks very nice. It's an 11 millimeter, and it's a 1.8. However, it is a crop sensor. It doesn't matter. It works. It works actually so far the best. It's actually the king of the hill, in my mind. Not if everybody took a vote across the United States, okay, or the world, all right? But we have other contenders, all right? So these are the contenders. And this is, I'm going to try to bring them over here. I got all caps off. Let's see if I can bring these so you can see them in the nicest way possible. I have them on little things so they don't roll. Nobody wants their lens to roll off the table. Okay. So now, let's go to the overhead camera real quick and see how many of these I actually have in the frame. I have most of them in the frame, but you know what? I can make the frame wider. Ooh, look at that. Okay. Okay, so that's full width right there. All right, so this is a Nikon Z6 that's on the roof. All right, so this one here is my 11 millimeter 1.8. This one is a Viltrox 20 millimeter 2.8. This is a Sony 10 to 20 millimeter zoom. It's f4 though. All right. And this is a Batis Zeiss, and I got the wrong one. This is the 85 millimeter, and I need to change this and bring in the 18 millimeter. Okay. And those are the ones that will actually, let me grab that lens real quick, because I don't want to accidentally put this lens where it doesn't belong on this show. So I'm walking over to my camera case. I told you I was a little nervous on this particular event, and the reason for that is because all right, so here's the Batis 2.8 18 millimeter. Okay, let's grab it. Let me take the lens hood off. Let me take the caps off. So I took the caps off on all of them for a reason, and that is so we don't spend a lot of money juggling, a lot of time juggling caps. All right. So this is the Batis 2.8. All right, 18 millimeter. So that's what we have from this side to this side. Now, also notice size. All right. I do keep the lens hoods on here because it's convenient. That's all. It's not really needed. This one, it has a pretty good sized lens hood. So if you look at the smallest one versus this one, it's not that far in size, but the Batis is like a bell. It gets wider and wider. That one stays. Okay. All right. So what I'm planning on now, I'm going to move these back up here so that nothing will roll off the table and we will have lenses fall to the floor. Okay. So we're going to take this camera right here. All right. What did I do? Oh, I know what I did. I'll be right back. I put it, the screensaver popped on. So this is going to be one of those nights, if anything can go wrong, it will. Okay. There is no reason for the screensaver to come on. Where the heck is that mouse? All right. All right. So I'm going to take the A7CR. You can see that right here. That's the model number, right where this finger is moving. Hello? That's the model number of the camera. All right. So the reason that I'm using that and not, let's say, the A7C Mark II or one of the other cameras, the FX2, is because this would have the worst low light response on paper. Not necessarily in real life, but I'm kind of giving you a hint as to where we're going. Okay. But on paper, with a 61 megapixel lens, which is what we have in here, it should give us the worst looking picture. And the reason is it's the smallest pixel. The more pixels you're putting in there, you got to make them smaller to fit. Okay. But on this camera, we do have backside illuminated, but it's not a stacked sensor, okay? And that's okay. That's one step forward. Everything is on the back of the chip of the sensor, and on the front is only the pixels. So if it was a stacked back-sided illuminated, okay, it means it takes actually all the electricity that runs through it off of that board and puts it on a second sensor. And that's why they're called stacked. There's two of them like that. Okay. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to get rolling into this show early because I really don't know how much time it's going to take. Now I want to put this someplace safe. Okay. So this is my lens that I use for all purpose 24 millimeter married together with the 61 megapixel sensor. Allows me to go all the way up to 100 millimeters with the cropping of a 61 megapixel sensor. Okay. This is the opposite of what I've worked all my life, and probably you guys too. Okay. Normally you want 100 millimeters. You put 100 millimeters on there, or at 85. All right. Well, this is different. I don't do that. I put one lens on and I use it for the whole evening. So tomorrow night when I go to my brother's house, I'm going to put my Sony G lens. Is this a G lens? Yes. 24 millimeters, and I'm going to put it on, and I'm going to run it as if it's 24 millimeters all the way to 100. And I'm going to do that solely with the cropping. Well, Peter, how do you know you could do that? Well, I've tested. Okay. You don't buy a car and you don't have and you've never driven before and you go, let's do a test drive. No, you learn how to drive before you do that. All right. All right. So, I'm going to put the most expensive lens we got here. And this is the Zeiss Batis lens. We're not looking for a loser. Okay. So if you guys are in a football frame of mind, cut it out. It's not how we're working. Okay, so they mark the lens very poorly as to where you mount it on the camera. Once you know what you're looking for, it's okay. But in all reality, no. It should have a white dot like every single one of these. Viltrox, Sigma, it doesn't matter the brand. Panasonic, all of them have a dot. And those that are missing the dots and they're not clear and they're dark orange or something, thumbs down, okay? You need a white dot. So that's our first thing here. Now, I'm going to put this, I'm going to turn this camera on. I'm going to put it in shutter priority. I'm going to shoot 24p. And I'm going to switch it from, since we don't have shutter angle on this camera, I want 1/48th of a second shutter speed. So I'm going to go into the menu and I'm going to go and find, okay, it's in the anti-flicker set for this particular model. And I turn on the variable shutter. Okay, so the way you run your variable shutter is turn it off first. Get it to the speed that you want. Like on this camera, we don't have 1/96. Okay. We don't have 1/48. We don't have 1/190. What would be the number for 190? I'd have to do the math. All right. So you get the number in the regular with the variable speed off because they go in tenths. It'll take a long time to get from 1/48 to 1/96. So just turn off the variable ability, go to 1/100, then go and turn on the variable ability. All right. So because you're going to do that quite often, put it in your quick menu. That's what I did. I push the button, I go up to the star, and in my quick menu, I've got format, zebra displays, on, off, APS-C 35 shooting, on, off. Anti-flicker set, on, off. Okay. So now this is set up. Okay. So 18 millimeters. This is a full frame lens, and this is going to start sounding like a theme tonight. Okay. Now I'm going to be leaving you alone for a little bit, 4 times. Okay. So don't cry. I'm sure you can handle it. All right. But I'm going to do the walk, but I took the transmitter, I took the receiver for this wireless mic. This is the Saramonic mic. I took the receiver for this. I put it as central as possible for where I'm going to be walking. Okay. So you should hear a minimum. I'm hoping no static and no dropouts. We'll find out. Okay. You can make a comment, but I can't fix anything now. It's set up. I took a 35-foot wire and I ran it into the family room and I put the receiver for the Saramonic mic that you see right here, okay, over in that room close to the window, all right? So the way the walk is going to go is I'm going to leave this room, going to go into the family room. So we're going from lighting that's designed for lighting. Okay. And then we're going to go into a darkish room where I have very low lighting. However, I'm heading towards the kitchen which has fluorescent lighting. And then from the kitchen, I'm going to walk around my island. Then I'm going to go out the back door on the patio with all the lights off that I can control. I can't control the neighbor's lights. I've tried. It doesn't work. All right. I'm going to walk out there, and what we're going to see, what's the purpose of this walk? We're going to go from nice lighting to very low lighting, lower than you would get at a reception hall if you were having a party, okay? Or a dimly lit restaurant, even lower, all right? Then we're going to go to the kitchen where I have fluorescent lights. Now, I don't have fluorescent lights in here. I actually have soft boxes with the proper light bulbs, 2700 K light bulbs. So we're going to go from 2700 K, full lights, soft boxes, to haphazard lighting, where the lighting is on the wall, on sconces, okay, to full fluorescent lights that you would have in your kitchen, to outside on the patio, and I turned my patio lights off. So we're going to see on something like this one is a 2.8, all right? So I'm setting the camera free except for the shutter. And the reason for that, also, thank you for reminding me. You didn't remind me, but because I'm explaining it. All right, the stabilization is off. So this is the full frame for this lens, and this is a full frame lens. We're going to do the same thing with the crop sensor. And then you're going to see what the difference is and why I shoot that way. All right, so let's start with the walking. I'm going to record this. Let's make sure I have a card in here. Otherwise, okay, I got a card in here. Camera's on. Let's go into the menu, go up to Format. I want to streamline so I don't fumble and look like an idiot in front of zillions of people. Okay, I know there's only 10 people in here. But, all right, so did I format? Yes, execute format. Formatting the card. Okay, and I believe this camera has a new 256 gigabyte card, so we should be able to do this. So I'm going to actually start from here, turn it around. I took off the little grip, Randy, if you want to see how my hand is dealing with this. See this little pinky? This little pinky is getting eaten up with that grip. Right here, right at that spot, it digs and it hurts. So I'm just trying this out to see what happens. So I could still pin the camera, okay? And now I'm going to turn this on, and you'll be watching the live broadcast. You'll be hearing me, but this camera is now recording. And I'm going to come back in, and eventually we're going to put this in Final Cut Pro and compare the 4 clips, all right? So I'm going to get up. I'm going to say, bye-bye. Bye, everybody. Okay, so now I am walking. Oh, I forgot to turn on my hair light. Oh, okay, we're up to a great start. Okay, so I turned on my hair light, and now I'm walking out of the Christmas room. The wireless mic is on my lapel. Okay, now I'm in the family room. The family room is getting light from 2 sides, from the kitchen side and from the Christmas room side. But inside here, there's no light. So this feels a slight bit heavy. And the reason that I say that is because the Batis lens is a little on the heavier side, but it's a full frame 18 millimeter, which is close to the 16.5 millimeters that you would get if you were running a crop sensor lens on here. Okay. So we just walked around. I just walked down Fluorescent Alley. I hope you guys can hear me. I can actually see the transmitter, so it's not doing bad. Okay, now I'm going to go outside, open the sliding door.
Back door.
Okay, you hear my alarm announcing the back door. Okay, so now I'm outside, and we're going to see what the camera is going to do. So it's up at ISO right now, 6400. All right, so now the way my face is facing no light coming towards me. All the lights are actually behind me. And now I'm turning around and I'm walking back. So you'll be getting a little reflection from the sliding patio doors. And I'm walking back into the kitchen. You'll hear the alarm again. I don't know if you'll hear it or not. I guess we'll find out together. Okay, so now I'm back inside the kitchen, closing the sliding door, locking it. We are security conscious around here. And now I'm walking back to the Christmas room, and you guys will see me, I would say, in 10 seconds or less. So now I've just crossed into the Christmas room, coming around the corner carefully, because I do have a wire going out there. I don't want to fall on my face. All right, so you should see my body, and now I'm back at the desk. Okay, so let's stop the recording. All right, now I'm going to turn off the camera. Hi. So this is a fun night. Either I'm going to really louse this up terribly, or it's going to be a very nice video. All right, so we did the Batis. So the next lens, all right, the Batis, what it does is it gives me full frame on a full frame 60 megapixel camera. Okay, so we're going to see how that works out. I had the stabilization off, so I took the Batis off. Okay, so the next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to move up to a 20 millimeter. Now Randy would enjoy this because he does like a little tighter lens. This is a 20 millimeter. Okay, there we go. Viltrox lens. And it also is 2.8. So we're going to walk around with that. Now, why am I interested in this lens? Because they just came out with the same barrel, the same body in a 14 millimeter full frame. Full frame, 14 millimeters. So we need to see how this is going to handle in terms of quality from a Zeiss lens that we just did. Okay, you're going to see all this. So just get yourself some ice cream and settle down, or you're going to watch this on the rewind. Okay. All right. So I'm going to turn this back on, and there we go. So it's tighter. It's 20 millimeters from 18. I could see it on here already. Okay. So it does bring my face in a tighter way. And you guys that are going to watch this on the uploaded video, this is also going out live. Okay. So I'm going to take that same walk. Okay. Going to get my exercise tonight, guys. All right. So now I'm walking 20 millimeters, 2.8 Viltrox. A7CR. I'm crossing the threshold, exiting my office or the Christmas room. Now I'm in the dark. Okay. So this room is dark, but there's a lot of light pouring in from the kitchen. That's where we're getting the light. And then if you look behind me, that door. So this room gets light that's flooding in. So now I'm going to walk down fluorescent alley. So this is kitchen lighting now. All right, on a 20 millimeter lens, and I have to be careful not to let this one get too close, because when we stabilize, this baby is going to actually, you're going to find it's going to crop in a lot, and Uncle Peter is not going to like that. Okay, so hopefully you guys can still hear me. I'm trying to narrate all the walking, opening the back door. Okay, now I'm outside on my patio. And I'm going to walk to the same spot. So it's the same thing every time. I've got like a black column here that's been painted black. All right. So right now I'm actually facing the darkest it's going to be. And this is an f2.8. So it can't go any more than a 2.8. I touched the black column, turned around, and now I'm heading back into the kitchen. The whole time I do see a little white focus box on my face. My hand is getting tired, which means I'm pulling the camera in to my body a little bit, and it needs to stay away because I happen to know it's going to crop down. If I put this in dynamic active stabilization, it will actually do the cropping in the camera now. and I'll say, oh, that's too close to my face. All right, so now I'm heading back towards the Christmas room. Hopefully you were able to hear me. Somebody, you might want to comment and tell me how the sound is. Am I dropping out as I walk around these areas? I tried to put the receiver as close as possible. Okay. Not as close as possible, as central as possible. So let's stop the recording. Okay, recording is off. All right, that's lens number 2. Okay. So that is another contender for vlogging. Viltrox 20mm 2.8. And we are going to move from there. We're going to move to the, now keep that one in mind, okay? Because they make the same lens as a 14mm f4. And we're going to find out, well, how's f4 going to do? But first, we're going to put my favorite vlogging lens on here. Now, this is a crop sensor lens, meaning it's a 1.5, as if you were cropping it. So it's going to drop the camera into crop mode. However, on the A7CR, I can stop it from doing that. And I'm going to do exactly that right now. Okay. I'm going to stop it from doing that. So I actually have let's turn on the overhead camera real quick, because you're really not going to see this. Okay. Here's the overhead camera. So do you see how it kind of looks like a circle? That's because we have a crop sensor lens on a full frame, and I forced it to stay full frame. Okay. All right. So okay. Thank you, Jim. He's telling me that the audio is good for both of the walks. That's what I wanted to do. So how did I accomplish that? Instead of the receiver being right here, okay, I took one of the 25-foot earphones extension cables and I ran it into the next room. Now, in the middle of the next room is about centered to everywhere where I walk. So hopefully things are on my side. All right. All right. So now this is in the crop mode. Dynamic image stabilization is off. OFF. Okay. So now I'm going to start recording. And what is unique about this lens before I even start? What's unique about this lens is that it's a 1.8. So we went outside and it's what, 10, almost 10:30. Okay. And now let's get up. I can talk to you while I'm walking. Okay. I feel like I have to look at your face. All right. So now this is quite a bit farther because we're at 11 millimeters and I'm not cropping, but it will crop when I stabilize. Okay. So when I stabilize this, it's going to crop. So right now I'm in the dark family room heading towards the kitchen. Now I'm in the kitchen. I'm going to do the fluorescent alley. All the lighting in here is fluorescence. So that is what we have for lighting on the face and the talent, as they say. Okay, now I'm heading for the patio door. Going to unlock the patio door. That's the noise that you hear, unless it's getting turned off. Blocked out.
Back door.
Okay, I'm outside, and I do close the door. And the reason for that is we have cats. God forbid we get a cat in the house. I have no idea how to get it out. So now I'm heading towards the black column. So I'm arriving at the same spot every time. So on my face right now, particularly, is almost no lighting. Right? If you hear any noises out here, I am outside. It's a Friday night. The people are having a good time. But look at the clouds in the sky. They're pretty awesome. All right, so I'm leaving the black column. It's just a column that's painted black. Nothing unique. All right, I'm heading towards the door, and I'm coming inside. Camera handles the white balance, and you can adjust how quickly the white balance changes on this particular camera, where it changes fast or slow, so it's not shocking. Okay. And now I'm heading towards the Christmas room. All right. So the lens that's intriguing is the 14 millimeter Viltrox lens, which technically on paper should be wider than this lens, because this lens is 11 millimeters. If you cut 11 in half, okay, what's half of 11 is 6.5. So 11 plus 6.5 is 17 and a half. And that's, all right, so let's stop the recording. All right, so the 17, this is going to wind up being 17 and a half by the time it gets, before it starts getting stabilized, okay? But we're starting from a full frame. I don't know if you can grasp this context. So Jim actually made a comment that, you know, he's got the Sony A7 IV. He can do the same thing. So most of the newer Sony cameras can do that. Now, if we go to that, which I didn't buy it, okay? If we go to that full frame Viltrox that's 14 millimeters, f4, what's the quality going to be like on the Viltrox? So we just showed the Viltrox quality on this 20 millimeter, okay? And we don't have it down to f4, all right? So how am I going to get to f4? I'm going to turn this camera off. Put the lens in its slot here so nothing rolls. All right, so I'm going to take a 10 millimeter to 20 zoom from Sony. And the reason that I'm using this at all is because on this one, we are limited to f4. So I want to find out how this camera is going to do at f4 outside in the dark when we go on the patio. So let's make sure we're zoomed. Okay, widest setting. All right, so now we have the Sony 10 to 20 PZ lens, power zoom, at f4, and it is running right now at f4, okay? But the ISO in here is 800. So I'm going to say bye to you. We're going to do the little walk. We're going to go out. Okay. So this lens is kind of more in line with that elusive Viltrox lens, because I don't own it, might not ever own it, because so far I still like the 11 millimeter. So we're in the kitchen. The fluorescent alley is right behind me, and I'm most interested in this lens with the outside where it's really dark. I want to see if it's going to clobber this camera from being able to be in the mix with that particular lens. And you might have to use the 11 millimeter cropped. So it's, in my mind, an 11 millimeter cropped versus a full frame f4. Now, this is a cropped f4, so we are handicapped here, okay? So the camera is outside. It's still, golly gee whiz, doing the white box of focus on me. This is the column I keep talking to you about. I'm leaning up against it. So whatever that thing is that's jumping over my head is the column. So this is the darkness. And if I aim it up towards the sky, you can still see the clouds, okay? I'm showing you the clouds. You'll see them in a minute, okay? We're going to put this all into Final Cut Pro, and we're going to mix this all down and see actually how we rate this. Now, this lens does seem to be coming in a little bit more yellow, okay? But the Viltrox will have its own coloring. So we have all that to contend with too. Locking up the doors. Thank God this is the last walk. My feet are really getting tired. Okay. So I didn't want to leave and not have audio, because you guys would be going like, where'd he go? What's going on? I don't hear nothing. So I was able to narrate what I'm doing. And now I'm crossing the threshold, coming back into the Christmas room. And here we go. You should see me momentarily. And I need to close the video out because we're going to make a video of this. Okay. So this was the 4 different lenses, and it concludes with the Sony 10 to 20 millimeter f4 in an uncropped mode on the A7CR. Bye, everybody. Okay, so now I stopped the recording. All right, so I'm going to bring this back around. Going to turn the camera off. I didn't realize how big of a production this was going to be. Okay, and I'm going to put on the lens that usually stays on this camera, which is the 24 millimeter f2.8 G lens from Sony. So this is my photography lens. So up until we've done this test, if I was going to do a video, I would normally grab the 11 millimeter 1.8. Okay. So what we really want to know is if I get the 14 millimeter full frame Viltrox, it's actually built in the same little casing. So it's not going to be bigger, but it's going to be full frame, but they're going to knock me down to f4. So we just tested that with the Sony lens. Okay. So let me relax for a second, see who's in here, and then we're heading over to the computer. So Randy's saying hi, and more hi. Norm's here. Hi, Norm. Good to see you, buddy. I don't know if you're going to stay for this whole thing. Woody's here. Hi, Woody. And then you're saying hello to each other. Sammy is here. I said at the beginning of this, Sammy, that I'm still testing the LumiLut correction LUT that I made for this camera, which is why we're looking at this camera. So Randy's saying hi to Sammy. Oh, Jim is in. I didn't know you were up. Hi, Jim. Good evening, Peter and gang. Happy Friday. Just in and out tonight. I'm the Zoom guy for the Ham Club in the morning. Whoa, that should be fun. And this is when I saw Jim made a comment that the audio was doing okay. Good. I appreciate that. And Roy says, what did I miss? And believe it or not, Carlos is here. And he's the instigator of this with him and his question 100 years ago of what will it look like if I take the camera? I don't even know what camera it was, to a campfire. So that started me going outside. And it's all because of you. Thank you, Carlos. I almost called you today. Just wanted to see how you're doing. Jim is talking to Randy. Yeah, Jim is going to, he's involved in the ham radios. He likes the electric cars, Teslas, but he likes some of the gas cars too. And Randy's saying hi to Carlos. Yeah, I think I'm done with the popping in for the walking around. Okay, and that brings us up to, oh, the last guy, Virtual Kid. Hi, Virtual Kid. I'm happy to see you. I like, it looks like you got a Batman and Robin thing on there. Nice looking. All right, so I'm going to take the card out of here. And then I'm going to get up. You're going to lose me again for a minute. Okay. But then we're going to go over to the computer and Final Cut Pro. All right. So let's keep it rolling so this doesn't wind up being a 3-hour show. So I'm taking the mouse, the card, my body. The mic is still a lav mic, so it should still be running clear. If it's not, somebody tell me because I'll need to find out why. Okay, let me put my glasses away. Okay, so the Olympus got itself mixed up. Instead of focusing in, let me tap it. Okay. It's not the only camera to do that. All right, so I'm taking the SD card, I'm putting it as soon as I can find it into the card reader. Okay. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to show you the process of how I bring all this into making a clip. Okay. So the first thing I do is I take these and I put them in to GyroFlow. So let me figure out how to turn on my desktop here. Okay, it's around here somewhere. I know it. I know the desktop. There it is. Okay. All right, so now you guys should be seeing what I'm going to be doing on the desktop. So this is GyroFlow. So I go to Open File, and I found a little sequence that I have to follow here. You guys might have a better sequence. I'm going to go down to where the video files are. I'm going to go to clip. All right, so I did 4 clips. There's 1, 2, 3, 4. I'm doing this. Am I doing this correctly? Oh, yes. And then I'm going to add it to the render queue. Okay. And I don't want it to output the file in the same place. I do want it to go into my, okay, what is this? April 24th. Okay. So I want it to go into here. Okay. And then I need to go to GyroFlow, GyroFlow, GyroFlow. Click open. Okay, so most people get stuck right here. I found just do the same thing twice and it fixes it. Okay, so I go to on GyroFlow. I don't know if it's GyroFlow or if it's my computer. Okay, so I'm going back, going to pick my 4 files again. Going to click open, add to the render queue, custom path, pick the path. Okay, then it takes the 4 clips and we should see them populate here. Okay, so here we have the 4 clips, 26, 27, 28, and 29. They're in a weird order. Okay, and I usually export them as H.265s, and I'm going to start exporting. So what it's doing now is it's taking all of the clips. Where's my coffee drink? I'm running out of energy, I think, because I am using a lot of energy. So I did put coffee in my drink. All right, so you can see that it's doing these files. Right now, it's doing them at 30, 31. It'll wind up at about 34 frames per second. And remember, I shoot in 24 frames per second, so this is faster. So this is being exported in 422, and not only in 422, it's being exported as 10-bit, and it's in a queue. It's going to do one file after the other, okay? All right. I'm drinking on the job. All right, so while it's doing that, I'm going to come back to the table and bring us all together again. And then those that want to stay, you can watch me actually make a video out of those 4. Let's come over to Ecamm. Let's go to the Olympus. If you noticed, I've been using the Olympus all night tonight. Okay. Here we go. So where did I leave off? I left off with Virtual Kid. He was saying hi. Enjoy the $15 I sent. Love your videos. Wow. Thank you, Virtual Kid. What's your name so I can say hi to you with my first name? Just first name. Don't give me your first name, last name, your address, and your social security number. Just your first name. Bob, Jim, Brian, or you don't have to. I'm just asking to be nice. That's all. Because I've got Craig here, and I could say hi to Craig and use his name. Hi, Craig. Good evening, Peter and crew. 2 weeks in a row. What happened to you? I thought you disappeared. And then here you go. So when I win the lotto and I distributed the money to all my friends, you're in the running now. 2 weeks in a row. Dang. Okay. We're doing some videos on blogging lenses and you know how I would use them. So we have crop sensor lenses versus full frame lenses, very wide aperture like 1.8 versus f4. And in order to find out what we're doing, you got to test it to see if you like what's going on. And that's what I figured I would do it live. I need to see for myself. And why not bring everybody in with it? So that was Craig. Good to see you, buddy. I love you. Thank you for being here. Yes, Virtual Kid. Thank you for the contribution. What made you do that, dude? Seriously. Are you that nice of a guy? So Randy's saying hi to Craig and Virtual Kid. Virtual Kid, no problem at all. What lens is he using? I just used 4 different ones. And we're going to find out together which one you would choose and which one I would like to choose. Okay. I like the quality a lot and the depth of field. Oh, so you're talking about the lens that's on this camera here in the studio. Okay. So I don't know if you've been here before, or you're an old timer that you've never spoken up, or you're somebody that changed your name. So I don't know which of those. So let me explain. I'll explain to you. Okay. There's 4 4K cameras in here. I've got wide lenses because I'm a retired photographer, portrait, wedding photographer, etc., etc. Okay. And I like everything looking like a portrait. Okay. So the depth of field is important to me. Now, look up here, Virtual Kid. As I run my shows, I usually put up in this corner what camera it is that you're looking at and what lens it is that you're looking at. So you're looking at a f1.2 lens, micro four thirds. And if it's a micro four thirds f1.2, guess which f-stop I'm using. Go ahead. Guess. Yes. I'm always running the lenses wide open or one stop up if I need to for lighting. Okay. So when I go to the f1.4 lenses and the f1.2 lenses, sometimes I have to also put in an ND filter, and I might have to stop it down 1 or 2 stops. So Virtual Kid is saying hi to Randy. Wait, I just saw. So you saw it. You saw the sign. Okay, cool. Okay, so I think so. I'm just doing it to be generous and to make others happy. I love making people's day for sure. Oh yeah, the camera on the lens you have in the studio is really great. I'm new here. Oh, well, welcome. Okay. So normally I have the cameras automatically rotating, but there's a new piece of software that I got called LumiLut, Lumilut, and it allows you to make a LUT. Ta-da! Instantly. 1, 2, 3, LUT made. You make the changes you bring a little clip or even a picture, come to think of it, into LumiLut. It's an app. You get it on the App Store for Apple. It's only Apple, by the way. And it's $50. But I think they're doing an introductory thing, and I'm friends with a person that did it. I even had to put my 2 cents in there and help. Okay, but it makes LUTs for log files. But sometimes you got to fix the regular file. So I made a regular file which I call like a correction LUT, and that's why I don't have the rotating cameras on right now. Because I put a correction LUT on here, because even in the camera, the Olympus is too joyful. It's over sharp. It makes my old face look bad, and it also makes the reds pop too much. Now this looks exactly like it looks on my body. It looks like that coloring on the monitor that I'm looking at right now. Okay, so but the Olympus won't let me come to this look in camera. It's just too restricted. It's a 10-year-old camera. So I made it a correction LUT. Same thing as making a regular LUT. There's no difference. And now I'm running a LUT in my Ecamm program on here, which is kind of unique. So Roy says, I need wider lenses because I'm getting fat till my daddy takes my t-shirt away. Virtual Kid says, I see, said the blind man to his deaf wife. Now I know where to look to know for the lenses. Okay. So, let's check and see, what we got actually running. I'm going to go back over to the desk, and, when the files are done, I'm going to be able to use them in Final Cut Pro. Okay. So I'm going to get up again. I'm telling you, I'm getting my exercise here. All right. I'm going to get up again. This time I'm going to take my drink with me. It's a smoothie. Okay. It's a smoothie with protein powder in it and water. And I added a little monk fruit because I got a sweet tooth. It's just the way, it is what it is. I have a sweet tooth. I just took a swig. I feel like I'm a drinking man now. All right, so let's turn would help if I use the mouse I'm supposed to. There it is. Okay, where's my desktop? There's the desktop. Let's see how we've come along. All right, so the green ones, it's finished this one, it's finished this one, it's finished this one, and it just finished this one. Okay, very good. All right, so the advantage of this software, for you guys that have never seen it, in the upper left-hand corner, it's called GyroFlow. It's free, $100. Free, F-R-E-E. It doesn't cost anything to get this. All right. So I put all of the 4 files that we did into a queue, and then I just clicked the button up in the right-hand corner. So it did all that. Okay. And it did each one of them individually, doing what it needed to do to all of them. So I took it off of the card, the SD card, and I made it put the completed files, which you will see will have the word stabilized. See where it says blah, 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 _ stabilized? Okay. All right. So now I'm going to close GyroFlow, and I'm going to go to Final Cut Pro. So now we're looking at Final Cut Pro, and I named this Live Friday. I tried to do a little preparation work. Okay. So what I need to do is I need to go and get those files. So they're in my external drive, video projects, Peter Greg TV, which is what we're doing here. And here we have 4 stabilized files, okay? So I'm going to grab all 4, if I can get this cup out of my way. 1, 2, 3, 4. Command copy. Then I'm going to, I hate this new thing that they did. Okay, now I'm going into, this is Final Cut Pro. For you guys that have never seen it before, ta-da! All right, now look here in this square. This is where my files all just came in, okay? Now I'm going to make them all fit here, okay? And this is 1, 26 stabilized, 27 stabilized, 28 stabilized, 29 stabilized. So in the upper left-hand corner, it shows me the name of the file. So if I click on this file, it is 28 stabilized, so on and so forth, okay? All right, so I'm going to start by working with this guy here. I'm going to enlarge it. I'm going to find the front, and you'll be watching. Now, what I like to do out of habit when I'm running Ecamm and recording on Ecamm is I like to come into my color wheels, and I like to bump up the midtones, okay? Then real quick, I'll just take a look at my scopes, and they all look excellent. It looks like it could use a little bit of darkness and a little more brightness, okay? Then I put the scopes away, and I'm done, all right? So the next thing I do is I go over to the sound. I'm going to use voice isolation and loudness. Voice isolation, I usually try to run it at 25%. Okay, so if this is not getting broadcasted right now and you can't see it, now would be a good time to call me, okay? All right, so now it's hitting the yellows over here. So I'm going to double click and I'm going to bring it down -2, okay? Now I'm going to come back down here. I'm going to select this file. I'm going to copy what I just did. And then I'm going to select these 3. And I'm going to put, oh, there is one more thing I do. I forgot. Don't shoot me down when I'm preaching good, okay? I add a little bit of sharpening, 1.5. Normally people would put between 3 and 4. I just add a little bit, okay? Okay, so now I will copy that, light these up, and add all of this, including the new sharpening. There we go. So now this will run. Because I do have a wire going out there. I don't want to fall on my face. And all right, in between these 2 clips, I want to see if it's a clean cut. It looks like it's a clean cut. So let's stop the recording. Okay. So it does bring my face. Okay, so now I need some help. Okay, do you remember what the first one was? So the first one, I believe, was the Batis. I think that's the first one that we used. Okay, so I'm going to go over here. I'm going to type in Zeiss Batis. Actually, before that, I want to put Sony A7CR and a bullet. And Zeiss has 2 S's. Zeiss Batis, and which one is that? The 18 millimeter F. Dang, I don't remember. I think it's 2.5. 2.8, I mean. Okay. So this here will have this on the bottom part. The only problem with this is phase grade, fade. Okay, so I used the wrong one. I want this one, although this doesn't look half bad. Maybe I should leave well enough alone, huh? No, let's not do that. All right. So let's leave well enough alone. That doesn't look bad, but I do need it to go to the end of that clip because I'm going to copy that. Going to put it here. What was the next lens I used? Dang. Do you remember the next lens that I used? Randy? Anybody? Okay, so I think the lens that I used after that was... Oh, maybe I could tell by looking. Yeah, that's the 20 millimeter Viltrox. Viltrox 20 millimeter f2.8. Okay. So we'll bring this to the end of that clip. See how this... Oh, no, I jumped. It ends on that clip. Okay. So I'm going to copy this. Going to put it in here. Boy, tell me that's not tight. All right, so on this one, I could see automatically that that is the Sony. .11 millimeter f1.8. And then the last lens I used was I wanted to see how it was going to do with the f4. So that was the Sony 10 millimeter, whoops, actually 10 to 20 millimeter. And that guy is an f4. Okay, so I think I got all those correct. All right, now we're going to just take a quick look, okay? So on the Viltrox, it's a full frame. So if I scrub this, I don't see any black corners on the top left, top right. On the 11 millimeter, if I scrub this, go to a brighter area. Let's go into the kitchen. I see in that corner, you see up in that corner? Okay, it's got the little bit of a black coming in. So we're going to click on the lens and we're going to scale that to 120. Okay, and that should knock out any of the black corners. And on this one is a, yeah, because it's a 20 millimeter. Yeah, the black corners on this one, this needs to go to 130. Okay. So what I just did is I enlarged each one. All right. So on this guy and this guy, I'm going to put transition between them, so it crossfades. And then I'm going to just do a quick look at the end to see how this ended. Bye, everybody. And I want to cut it right there. And I want to cut this part off. And I want to also check the very beginning. Let's go to the beginning. Let's come over here and okay, so I start talking, see with the big mouth? Okay, I start talking there. So I'm going to cut this out. And now I'm going to set this to go out at, let's do 18 kilobits per second. So it's going to be a 1.6. Okay, let's do an A so I can recognize it and put it in there. And then we'll upload this. No, this is on Peter Gregg TV, April 24th. This goes in here. Okay, and at this point, it is running in the background, and I will come back to us. I'm getting there. Take it easy. There we go. Weird show tonight, right? It's kind of crazy. Well, Roy, you don't get everything you want. But if you do really like a vignette and you're not being sassy, you know what? You got it. All right, so let's put on the automatic changing cameras. We'll start with the Sony A7C II. Okay, so Virtual Kid, look up in this corner. Okay, now the tags are in black. Okay, when they're in black, I have the automatic rotating cameras on. Okay, so I have two sets of cameras. They're both the same cameras, but I have two sets of profiles. One is where I pick the camera and it stays until I tell it to change. Okay, and then the other is where I set the cameras free. Look in the bottom right, wrong side, over here. If I can reach all the way here, okay, that is a timer, okay, and it's showing you how many seconds there are. Now, this is for us, the family, okay? I don't explain this often, but since you come in and you're so sweet to me, thank you. I love you, buddy. I have it so it runs down on that timer, and the next camera that's going to come up is the next one that I have on the list. Now, since I made the list, I know what's coming up. It's the Olympus, okay? And then after the Olympus will be the Nikon ZR. And then on the overhead camera is the Nikon Z6, but that's not in the automatic rotation. So see how it jumped over to the ZR? See how the tags are black now. They're not red. So when they're red, the image is stationary. It's not going to move until I move it myself, okay, with my little fingers on the mouse. Now, if they're black, it's going to count down 1 minute and 20 seconds, so whatever is on that timer, and then it's going to go to the next camera automatically. So that's just a little bit behind the scenes of what's going on. All righty. Okay, so Roy is talking to Virtual Kid. He loves Melbourne. Okay. Roy is telling me that he likes a little vignette. A little vignette's nice. You know, malt vinegar is good too. Have you been to the Gold Coast? If you're talking Florida, or are you talking somewhere else? So in Florida, the Gold Coast would be... Oh, wait, that's the Treasure Coast. No. I thought it was Tampa, St. Pete, and I thought that was the Gold Coast. But it's the other. So maybe you're talking about... are you talking about Australia, or are you talking about U.S.? I'm going to take a quick peek over and okay, so the file is almost done. When it's done, I'm going to do two things with this file. I'm actually going to play it here. Why not? Okay. And I'm also going to upload it on this channel as a standalone video, which you'll be able to come back and just see that video all by itself. Because then I'll also be able to title it the comparison of these lenses. And it might be something people will like to see. So right now we're on the Nikon ZR, just keeping Virtual Kid up. So everything is doing good. I did make a change in the sound, and I'm going to listen to what it sounds like. And if it was successful, I will actually make a video separately on how to do this actual change in your Ecamm, okay? Because background noise around here is a little on the strong side. I live in Miami, Florida, so it's important that my air conditioner stays running and a couple of fans for the cameras. We don't want them overheating, although these cameras don't overheat. I've got pretty good solid cameras going here. Gonna double check again. Okay, it finished the video. So I'm gonna need to go over to the computer one more time. You'll be able to hear me, but the chair will become empty. Cheers. All right. Let me go over to the computer, which is on my desk. There we go. Let me find the file, and then let me find and figure out how to make it so you guys can see it. All right, so let's go to April 24th. That's why I put the dates. It's easier for me to find this stuff. All right, so I found the video. I need to change the camera. Okay, so I think I'm going to be able to drop the video into this new video. This window is muted. I don't want it muted right now. Okay. All right, so I'm going to drop in the video we just made together. and you'll be watching. I'm going to pause it. I want it to come on full screen. And I want it to play. The live broadcast, you'll be hearing me, but this camera is now recording. And I'm going to come back in, and eventually we're going to put this in Final Cut Pro and compare the 4 clips. All right? So I'm going to get up. I'm going to say bye-bye. Bye, everybody. Okay, so now I am walking. Oh, I forgot to turn on my hair light. Yeah. Okay, we're off to a great start. Okay, so I turned on my hair light, and now I'm walking out of the Christmas room. The wireless mic is on my lapel. Okay, now I'm in the family room. The family room is getting light from 2 sides, from the kitchen side and from the Christmas room side. But inside here, there's no light. So this feels a slight bit heavy, and the reason that I say that is because the Batis lens is a little on the heavier side, but it's a full frame 18 millimeter, which is close to the 16.5 millimeters that you would get if you were running a crop sensor lens on here. Okay, so we just walked around. I just walked down Fluorescent Alley. I hope you guys can hear me. I can actually see the transmitter, so it's not doing bad. Okay, now I'm going to go outside, open the sliding door.
Back door.
Okay, you hear my alarm announcing the back door. Okay, so now I'm outside, and we're going to see what the camera is going to do. So it's up at ISO right now, 6400. All right, so now the way my face is facing, no light coming towards me. All the lights are actually behind me. And now I'm turning around and I'm walking back. So you'll be getting a little reflection from the sliding patio doors. And I'm walking back into the kitchen. You'll hear the alarm again. I don't know if you'll hear it or not. I guess we'll find out together. Okay, so now I'm back inside the kitchen, closing the sliding door, locking it. We are security conscious around here. And now I'm walking back to the Christmas room, and you guys will see me, I would say, in 10 seconds or less. So now I've just crossed into the Christmas room, coming around the corner carefully, because I do have a wire going out there. I don't want to fall on my face. All right, so you should see my body, and now I'm back at the desk. Okay, so let's stop the record. So it does bring my face in a tighter way, and you guys that are going to watch this on the uploaded video, this is also going out live. Okay, so I'm going to take that same walk. Okay, gonna get my exercise tonight, guys. All right, so now I'm walking 20 millimeters, 2.8 Viltrox A7CR. I'm crossing the threshold, exiting my office or the Christmas room. Now I'm in the dark. Okay, so this room is dark, but there's a lot of light pouring in from the kitchen. That's where we're getting the light. And then if you look behind me, that door, so this room gets light that's flooding in. So now I'm going to walk down Fluorescent Alley. So this is kitchen lighting now. All right, on a 20 millimeter lens. And I have to be careful not to let this one get too close, because when we stabilize, this baby is going to actually, you're going to find it's going to crop in a lot. And Uncle Peter is not going to like that. Okay, so hopefully you guys can still hear me. I'm trying to narrate all the walking. Opening the back door.
Back door.
Okay, now I'm outside on my patio. And I'm going to walk to the same spot, so it's the same thing every time. I've got like a black column here that's been painted black. All right, so right now I'm actually facing the darkest it's going to be, and this is an f2.8, so it can't go any more than a 2.8. I touched the black column, turned around, and now I'm heading back into the kitchen. The whole time I do see a little white focus box on my face. My hand is getting tired, which means I'm pulling the camera in to my body a little bit, and it needs to stay away because I happen to know it's going to crop down. If I put this in dynamic active stabilization, it will actually do the cropping in the camera now. And I'll say, oh, that's too close to my face. All right, so now I'm heading back towards the Christmas room. Hopefully you were able to hear me. Somebody, you might want to comment and tell me how the sound is. Am I dropping out as I walk around these areas? I tried to put the receiver as close as possible, okay? Not as close as possible, as central as possible. So let's stop the recording. What's unique about this lens is that it's a 1.8. So we went outside and it's what, 10, almost 10:30, okay? And now let's get up. I can talk to you while I'm walking, okay? I feel like I have to look at your face. All right, so now this is quite a bit farther because we're at 11 millimeters and I'm not cropping, but it will crop when I stabilize, okay? So when I stabilize this, it's going to crop. So right now I'm in the dark family room, heading towards the kitchen. Now I'm in the kitchen. I'm going to do the walk fluorescent alley. All the lighting in here is fluorescence. So that is what we have for lighting of the face and the talent, as they say. Okay, now I'm heading for the patio door. Gonna unlock the patio door. That's the noise that you hear, unless it's getting turned off, blocked out.
Back door.
Okay, I'm outside, and I do close the door, and the reason for that is we have cats. God forbid we get a cat in the house, I have no idea how to get it out. So now I'm heading towards the black column, so I'm arriving at the same spot every time. So on my face right now, particularly, is almost no lighting. All right, if you hear any noises out here, I am outside. It's a Friday night. The people are having a good time. But look at the clouds in the sky. They're pretty awesome. All right, so I'm leaving the black column. It's just a column, it's painted black, nothing unique. All right, I'm heading towards the door and I'm coming inside. Camera handles the white balance and you can adjust how quickly the white balance changes on this particular camera, where it changes fast or slow, so it's not shocking, okay? And now I'm heading towards the Christmas room. All right, so the lens that's intriguing is the 14 millimeter Viltrox lens, which technically on paper should be wider than this lens, because this lens is 11 millimeters. If you cut 11 in half, okay, what's half of 11 is 6.5. So 11 plus 6.5 is 17 and a half. And that's, all right, so let's stop the recording. All right, so now we have the Sony 10 to 20 PZ lens, power zoom, at f4, and it is running right now at f4, okay? But the ISO in here is 800. So I'm going to say bye to you. We're going to do the little walk. We're going to go out. Okay. So this lens is kind of more in line with that elusive Viltrox lens, because I don't own it, might not ever own it, because so far I still like the 11 millimeter. So we're in the kitchen. The fluorescent alley is right behind me, and I'm most interested in this lens with the outside where it's really dark. I want to see if it's going to clobber this camera from being able to be in the mix with that particular lens. and you might have to use the 11 millimeter cropped. So it's, in my mind, an 11 millimeter cropped versus a full frame f4. Now this is a cropped f4, so we are handicapped here, okay? So the camera is outside. It's still, golly gee whiz, doing the white box of focus on me. This is the column I keep talking to you about. I'm leaning up against it, so whatever that thing is that's jumping over my head is the column. So this is the darkness, and if I aim it up towards the sky, you can still see the clouds, okay? I'm showing you the clouds. You'll see them in a minute, okay? We're going to put this all into Final Cut Pro, and we're going to mix this all down and see actually how we rate this. Now, this lens does seem to be coming in a little bit more yellow, okay? But the Viltrox will have its own coloring. So we have all that to contend with too. Locking up the doors. Thank God this is the last walk. My feet are really getting tired. Okay. So I didn't want to leave and not have audio because you guys would be going like, where'd he go? What's going on? I don't hear nothing. So I was able to narrate what I'm doing. And now I'm crossing the threshold, coming back into the Christmas room. And here we go. You should see me momentarily. And I need to close the video out because we're going to make a video of this. Okay. So this was the 4 different lenses. And it concludes with the Sony 10 to 20 millimeter f4 in an uncropped mode on the A7C. I guess I cut off the end. I'll have to fix that before I upload it. Actually, that was quite interesting, to be honest with you. So there was so much going on. I did make a mistake in what I said. The 11 millimeter, half of 11 is not 6.5, it's 5.5. So 11 plus 5.5 is 16.5 millimeters. Okay. So 16.5 millimeters, is the number that we're looking for. So the other thing that was interesting is, didn't the 10 to 20 f4 actually do a better job than you were expecting? I was expecting grainy city. I mean, that sucker had to have been at 12,800 ISO. So that was a little bit of a shock. I'm looking at it with you. I sat here and watched it together with you. And I'm thinking like, okay, guess what? The Viltrox that's 14 millimeters. See, I don't trust these numbers. 14 millimeters full frame should technically be wider than the 11 millimeter we just saw, right? That's what I'm thinking. So this lens is an 11 millimeter, but when I cropped it, I cropped this one to 120%. All right. So it actually makes it even stronger than the 16.5 millimeters. It's actually closer to the 18 millimeters that we did with the Batis lens. All right. But then if you go with the 14 millimeter f4, that if that winds up being, it could be the winner chicken dinner lens of what all these 4 lenses that we just did. All right. So now for the first time, I actually got to see lens 1, 2, 3, and 4. And all 4 of them actually came out good. Now the Batis, which is 18 millimeters. So this is E-mount Batis Zeiss. 18 millimeters, 2.8. The 18 is a little bit hot because when GyroFlow, by the way, you know what? GyroFlow did a great job. It did. If I show you what this looks like without GyroFlow, it would be choppy. My hands, all right, well, they're not that bad, But imagine not having any stabilization at all. So there was a lot of important stuff that came through on this video. So I was with Virtual Kid, where he actually sees the labels now. Australia watchers are very helpful with support and information. Thank you. Okay. Virtual Kid, Australian here too. Great country. We melt a lot. Yeah, it gets hot down there. Randy's talking to VK. So that's your new nickname, VK. Since you haven't given me your name, I'm going to give you a cool nickname for being here. VK. I already checked out your wonderful channel. Oh, thank you so much. I have a bigger channel, one that's got over 30,000 subscribers too. All right. I might put the video that we just made. I might put it over there also. So you might hunt that down. It's just Peter Gregg without the word TV. Okay. Oh, Randy was checking out VK's channel. Okay. And now VK says, oh, thank you. Not many videos. Some are quite old, hence why I need to upload more, but no idea as to what. Well, join us. This is the boys getting together on a Friday night. You know, in the old days, they get together, play cards, smoke a cigar, and tell stories. Okay. So, I'm a Christian guy, so I'm not going to do the drinking and stuff like that, but you're welcome to. All right. I did have my smoothie. So, that's what we got. Roy is saying hi to VK, from Melbourne. Randy's saying the Zeiss Batis 18 millimeter. That one, they all did good, didn't they? All the lenses did good. So, there's not a bad one in the bunch. The Batis, I don't know why I want to say Batis, okay? So I'll have to find out what's the correct. But the Batis actually was a little too close to my face. I'm a little sensitive because of my age, so I don't like to show the old age spots, okay? So, memories. I haven't used Final Cut Pro since my iMac died. Oh, I'm sorry to hear that. Randy says Viltrox 20 millimeter. That one did good too. A little tight. I bet you it comes in at 22 to 23 millimeters with gyro flow, cropping it and doing the stabilization. We got to remember that factor. That is the unique thing about Sony cameras. You could force the Sony camera to shoot full frame, and then you do the cropping later. So you guys that were around and you watched me do the Final Cut Pro stuff, you saw me crop. So that was exciting. So VK says, hey, Ron from Melbourne as well. Ah, ha, ha. You guys are in the same neighborhood there. VK says, no, Roy's talking to VK. I love Melbourne. I saw most of the world before I moved here. On top of one of the dangadongs. Who wrote the Book of Love? Okay. Roy says he likes a little vignetting. Ooh, you like to live on the wild side. And VK says, have you been to the Gold Coast? VK's in Melbourne. It's top level over there. Randy says, good job, Peter. Yay! We got the seal of approval from Randy. Randy does 100 videos a day. No, not really, but almost. Thank you, Peter. Now I see it. Black. Automatic rotating cameras. I like. Thank you. Woody says, hi, Peter. You must be tired. Yeah, my feet. You know, I'm wearing flip-flops, which is not, I should have put on shoes. I'm up and down and up and down. Flip-flops, you know. As somebody your age, it would be no problem. But at 72, I should have had better shoes on my feet. So, anyway, so Roy is saying, VK, seen much of Australia except maybe Broom, Ant is on or in the Gold Coast. Craig Schroeder is saying yes, 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 yes. Ba-da-ba-bum. Peter, are you in Aussie land? No, I'm in Miami land. I'm in Miami, Florida. South end of Miami. So Randy says, hi, Randy. I hope you're doing well. And VK, Roy is talking to VK. Peter is a Floridian. You're right. Boy, Roy's got it. Peter is live from the Christmas room, which stays up for 365 days a year in Miami, Florida, since 2008, or it could have been 2009. So let's not forget that part. Okay, it isn't a new thing. I love Christmas. Okay, so we're talking to the Nikon ZR now. See, I can even tell where we are. Okay, VK, some of us do. Oh, VK said, wow, even when he sleeps. Where is that one? That one's over here. Okay. Some of us do our best work when we sleep. Randy says, VK, the room stays decorated. He sleeps normally like us. He uses the lights from the tree plus other LED lights to see if it trips up the cameras for focused breathing. 100% correct. Roy says, Peter is rare on YouTube. I like a medium rare. Okay, a nice guy. I try to be a nice guy, except when I'm not. Then I'm not. So Randy says, you are not dropping out. That is a big thing for tonight too. Okay, so you've been to the house. So remember the big room behind this room? Well, this is the last room, so it would be in front of this room. All right. So on the other wall, I've got the receiver, Saramonic. And the reason that I use Saramonic is I wasn't sure if the Sony was going to make it through all these concrete blocks. So I ran it to the most central spot I could think of, and that is where it is. And my biggest concern was when I went outside, because that is an outside concrete block, plaster, wire lath wall, but the receiver is close to that wall. So I was just on the other side of that wall, which is where I was walking on the patio. Now, the division between here and the next room over, which is the Florida room, we could call it the Florida room, the family room, is a 2x4 partition wall. Okay, so there's not much there to block it. So thanks, Randy, for telling me that I'm not dropping out, both video and live. Hey, Scotty, you made it in. You're probably confused as could be. Like, what are you doing? We had a heck of a weird show tonight. Okay, you're gonna have to watch the rewind. I compared 4 lenses, and I did it live, including putting him in Final Cut Pro. VK says, very rare. Nice guy for sure. Looking forward to watching more of his videos soon. Randy says, what's for supper, Scott? How, yeah. Scotty. Oh, Scotty. Oh, man after my own heart. Pizza. I told you, VK, this is with the boys' night out. We get together, we play cards, we eat, and we have a good time. Okay, so Scotty usually brings the food. So tonight he brought pizza. This is all virtual, VK. Don't get your mind exploded. All right, this is all virtual. So Randy says deep dish. Yeah, I think it was last night or the night before. Randy made a Detroit deep dish pizza, and I'm gonna make one this week. And iced coffee for you, Randy. Good one. You picked the right thing for the right guy. So Randy says, yummy, yummy for my tummy. Yummy, yummy, yummy. I got love in my tummy. Da da dum, da 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 dum. Ba da ba da ba da. You guys are old enough to remember that song? Any crust for you, brother. Any crust. I like the deep dish. Randy says, GyroFlow uses the gyro data from Sony cameras. So which cameras have gyro data already built into them? and which camera does not. Here's what Peter picks on cameras, okay? So most of the newer Sony cameras have the gyro data, which means you could use a free program like GyroFlow and do what I just did. Did you see me put them all in the queue? Okay. Sony has a free program because they know you're going to use the gyro, but you got to do it one clip at a time, meaning you got time to go pee and come back, and that's about it. Okay. That's number one. The free software from Sony is 420. That's number two. The free software from Sony is 8-bit. That's number three. Number four, there's no Q in the free software from Sony. So you got these geniuses that got together and they made a free software that fixes all those things. So it'll put out H.264, H.265, ProRes from Proxy, which is the one I use, all the way up to 444, whichever the high one is. And it puts out 422, and it puts out 10-bit, and it's got a Q, and it's free. Wow. I wish I was the marketing director for that. Okay. So that is what that is about. GyroFlow. I use it. Now, Randy, on the other hand, does not like the extra step. He will use dynamic active stabilization or regular, I think it's called active stabilization, one and done. Okay. I have the preference. I prefer to use GF, GyroFlow, not girlfriend. I like to use girlfriend too, but GyroFlow. Roy says IBIS sacrifices a few percentage points of the sensor. Yes, it has to crop in because the sensor is moving around. What are you going to do with those black edges? You're going to do what I just did. You zoom it in a little bit. Well, the cameras do that. So, hey, there's my buddy, Sammy. How you doing, Sammy? Love you. How you doing? How does the Olympus look? I'm using your software. Sammy made Lumi LUT, okay? And I used his software to make a correction LUT. And now the Olympus actually, it seems to blend in really, really good, in my opinion. Okay. Is everyone here his friends in real life? Well, I would say maybe half of these guys have actually come to see me in Miami. Randy came from Texas. Jim came from Virginia. Shane came from Melbourne, Australia. Geeky Nerdy Techie came here. Mr. Camera Junkie comes from Fort Lauderdale, which is not very far. Who else has been here? I can't think. Think. Jim from Virginia. Oh, Sammy. Sammy's been here from Jersey, New Jersey. And we talk during the week and text and send emails. My email is in the description, by the way. So it's not a big channel. Okay, the big channel, I'm much more security conscious because people can get on your ASS. Some people can be mean. So I don't give as much information as I do here. And most of these guys, when they make comments on the big channel, they know security is important on YouTube because there's some really mean jackasses out there. What can I tell you? So we're friends. We are friends. If I need help, Roy was one of the first ones to step in and help me. This software that I'm using, I didn't have enough money to pay for it. I said, hey guys, I don't have enough money. Guess who was right there? Roy from Melbourne. Kaboom! So it's paid for, just in case everybody's funny. We call the flip-flops, we call the flip-up vlogs thongs. Yeah, they're called thongs here too, but more often flip-flops. Because thongs here is also underwear. No, it's not underwear. Thong. Is a thong an underwear? All right, I don't know. So Roy says, this is Peter's less formal channel. Yeah, this is less formal. I get into trouble here. I talk about Jesus. I still respect everybody else's opinion on their faith, but I ain't gonna hide my faith. You know I love Jesus. There ain't no two ways around it. Ta-da! One and done. So that is my Nikons are gyro free. Yeah, Nikon is the only one that hasn't added gyro, and I'm going to add the word yet. I'm hoping that they will, because it brings you up to the level of using a gimbal if you're a little careful, without having that stick on the bottom of the camera. Okay. Most of the Canons don't record gyro either, but the newest one does. Roy says OS Studio. Are you talking about OBS? Not quite sure. Okay, Randy is shutting us down. God willing and the bridge isn't up, then Peter will be back on for his next show. Oh, yes, thank you, Randy. Sly. I forgot, Sly came. Actually, Sly came for my birthday. And she took me out for ice cream. Okay, and it was awesome. So, and Randy came here with his 4,227 pounds of cameras. So thanks for that. Boy, if I didn't say that, she'd get pissed. Man, she'd been here and he forgot? Oh my God. Good call, Randy. Thank you for saving my bacon. All right, guys. This was a very, very different show. You got to admit that. I don't know how many people are going to like it, but I did get to see the comparison between the lenses. I did get to stretch a little bit in terms of my production skills. It wasn't the same old. Now, when I can do that and actually broadcast from the camera, I don't know how. And no, I don't have a cable long enough. Let me think. You could get, what could you get? I don't know how long the HDMI cables are. You could convert it to SDI, or you can convert HDMI to Cat6. I did see on the NAB show that I think it's Hollyland came out with a 4K broadcast. So you'd put some kind of a thingamajig. You probably would have to put a rig on here, a cage or something, and it would broadcast into one of my channels here, because I got 4 channels that are 4K. The thing with that is I'm sure that's going to pack a punch in the wallet. But if you got a channel that needs to be live and needs to be mobile, hey, do it. So I was not able to broadcast when I walked around, but I was able to broadcast the sound. Excuse me. It's the smoothie is giving me a little gas. All right, guys, that was a really unique show. I have to hand it to you guys. Let's see how many stayed. I have to hand it to you guys for staying with me. Thank you. And on that note, we are done. We're going to say good night, and I'm going to have a nice weekend. I'll go to my brother's tomorrow, and you have a nice weekend too. Love you guys. Bye-bye.